Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to be doing a little challenge. So, over the past few weeks, we've gathered a lot of knowledge on if statements, on variables, on integers, on strings, and on vectors and loops. We've learned a lot of different concepts. And just to test what you've really learned, I'm going to be we're going to be creating a little game. Now, this little game will combine everything, pretty much everything we'll learn. It will have loops, it will have vectors, it will use if statements, it will use everything. Now, the way we're going to be doing this, first I'm going to be explaining all about the game and what the game is and the theory behind it. And in the second part of this video, I'm going to be showing you the solution. Uh, so this game, the way it will work, it's an item shop game, an armor game. Um, let's just draw a little grid here. Um, so just draw a little grid here. I'm just gonna illustrate the way this game is gonna work. So basically, I know my art sucks. I'm not an artist, but it's an item shop game. Basically, the rules of the game are very simple. You start with 500 coins. 500 coins. Now, there's an armor shop, and the armor shop sells armor. The armor shop sells. It sells body armor, body armor, pick a different color. It sells helmets. I'm just gonna be putting an H here. And it sells weapons. Wait, why can't I? That's weird. Whatever. And within each one of these categories, the player can select to buy body armor, helmets, or weapons. And within each of those categories, there are different body armors, there are different helmets, different weapons. The body armors include, hold on, it's a lever armor. We're just going to be putting an L. Copper armor, C, and silver armor. And each one of these armors is going to have a specific cost. The lever armor is going to cost 50 coins. 50. The copper armor is going to cost 75 coins. And the silver armor is going to cost 150 coins. Now remember, the player starts with 500 coins, and there's no way to make coins. So if you spent all the coins, that's it. You don't have any more coins. You can't buy anything else. Now within the helmets, there are also 3 categories. We have a wooden helmet. Oh, let me do it in a different color. A wooden helmet, which costs 30 coins. We have an iron helmet, which costs 65 coins. And we have a gold helmet, which costs 200 coins. And within the weapons section, there's also 3 different weapons. We have a dagger, and the dagger costs 50 coins. We also have a sword, which costs 150 points. And we have a bow, which costs 300 points. Now the user, the player, may buy one of each category, or he might buy two of the same category or three of the same category. The user can basically buy any one of these 9 items in any order he likes. And also, there's going to be a list of the items that the user has bought. And at the end, after the user has finished purchasing all the items they want, the list of the items they bought may or may not be displayed, depending on if the user chooses to display the items that the user bought. And that's pretty much it. Very, very basic, but quite an interesting little program. Now, I am going to be giving you a few hints. For this game, you're going to need 4 vectors. And the 4 vectors you're going to need to use are the body armor vector, helmet vector, weapons vector, and the purchase list vector. And also, you're going to be using a loop. I'm not going to tell you the type of loop. And a lot of if statements. Now, those are pretty much all the hints I'm going to give you. And I strongly recommend you try making this program right now, because in a few seconds I will show you the solution. Hi guys, so I've just finished creating this little game program thing, whatever you want to call it. It only took me like 40 minutes, and it looks quite complex, like 129 lines of code, quite difficult, but in reality it's a very basic program. So first of all, let's just run it and see how it works. So you have 500 points. Well, it should say coins, really. Let's just change that. Points. Because at first I thought we were doing points, but in reality we're doing coins. But it doesn't really matter. You can use coins, you can use dollars, pounds, whatever. What would you like to purchase? Now, there are 3 different categories of the things you can purchase. You can purchase body armor, helmets, or weapons. Well, let's purchase body armor. Now you can choose to purchase leather armor, you can choose to purchase copper armor, or silver armor. Now let's just buy silver armor, because we ain't cheap. Would you like to buy something else? Well, yeah, let's buy something else. And notice how, like right here, you have to just input one of the characters, like A, B, C. So you don't really have to write the leather armor and copper armor and silver armor. This is very handy in games, because you don't want to spend time writing these names out when you can just select the option, the letter of the option. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're creating your own games. What would you like to purchase? Well, let's buy a helmet, right? Because without a helmet, we're vulnerable, and pretty much anything could kill us. Let's go for the iron helmet. They're very strong. Iron is actually one of the strongest metals. What would you like to buy? Would you like to buy something else? Well, yeah, let's buy a weapon. We're not going to kill anyone without a weapon. Let's buy a weapon. So free. Let's buy a sword, so we can kill those zombies. And yeah, I think it will do us. Would you like to buy something else? Yeah. No, actually. And here's our purchase list. So we bought the silver armor, the iron helmet, and the sword. And as you can probably tell, the game works flawlessly. And what you could do is you can even display the amount of money at the end. You have this many coins left or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah. Also, let's look at the code. I'll go over it very briefly because we have covered all of this in big detail, but I have included some of the things in this program which we haven't fully covered. So let's start with this. As you can probably tell, I've declared those variables above the int main. Now you may be wondering, Roman, what the hell are you doing? You can't do that. Well, in reality, when you declare variables, it doesn't really matter where you declare them. You don't even have to declare them in the main function. The thing is, when you declare them inside of, well, basically when you declare them above or below the int main function, what it means is these variables, they will be public. That means that they will be available everywhere in your program, in all functions. And when you declare variables in a specific function, like the int main function, they're only available in that specific function. They're called private variables. Now, all these are public. Or what you could do, if you wanted to make a public variable inside of the int main function, you could say public int. But more on that later. So we have player money, we have the choice, the item choice, the quit, and which is equal to false, and the continue purchasing. Now you can probably tell what most of these are, but the bool quit is basically for the loop. In the loop, you need to we're using the do while loop, and the way the do while loop works is it works until a certain condition becomes false. It's basically the opposite to the while. Like in the while loop, it works while a condition is true, and the do while loop basically uses the reverse logic while the condition is not false. Continue purchasing is basically when we're asked if we want to buy something else. So this is where it all starts. We declared 4 vectors, as I already said, and they're vectors of strings for the body armor to display all this, for the helmets, for the weapons, and for the player inventory. The player inventory is basically, it will store what the user bought. And we have a little bit of a short IDE, very sketchy looking, but very bad, but you know, some sort of IDE to remind us that this is a game. At first it tells you how much money you have, and here's where the funny part comes in. Actually, I decided to use the do while loop for this program. I don't know why. I could have just used the while loop and stuck to that, but since this is a program tutorial and I wanted you to get as much as possible from these tutorials, I'm going to teach you about the do while loop today. So basically, the do while loop is like the while loop, but with one huge difference. And the difference is the do while loop actually will be executed once. No matter if the condition is true or false, it will be executed once. It has to be. With the while loop, the minimum number of times it has to be executed is 0. So if the condition is false, then it won't be executed. With the do while loop, first, even if it is false, the value of the loop, do while loop is false, it will be executed the first time, and that is because the condition is actually at the bottom. So this is the condition, while quit is equal to false. So if quit is equal to true, the program doesn't know that at first. It just executes it, and then it comes here. So that's the first time, the first iteration, and it says, oh wait, quit has to be equal to false. And then it breaks out. With the while loop, you have that condition at the very, very beginning of the loop, at the very top of it. Okay, moving on. Here we're just displaying all of the different body armors that we've got. We got the leather, the copper, and the silver. And we're allowing the user, item choices basically allows the user to input their choice of body armor. And we have a bunch of if statements here. This is all pretty much copy paste, these if statements. They're very simple, very, very easy to write. So if item choice is equal to A, then player money minus equal to 50. And what this basically means is that the player money, the value of the player money is decreased by 50 because it costs 50, right? So we're taking away 50. Player inventory dot pushback lever armor. Now what this does, basically, it puts lever armor inside of our player inventory. It adds it to our player inventory by using the pushback function. Yep. Now, else if item choice is equal to B, if the user gets the copper armor instead, then we will take away 75 of his coins because it costs 75, and we will push back copper armor to the purchase list because he bought copper armor, obviously. Same goes for silver, and here we have a little bit of in case the user is blind, or the user is just dumb or something, or maybe the user was typing very quickly and put something random in there. Invalid input. This ensures that we do not have a bug, or this basically fixes a glitch, because without it, God knows what would happen. Always best to put these extra measures. I don't know what they're called, whatever. Okay, moving on. Else if choice is equal to 2 is basically the same repetitive code that I just copy pasted and changed some things around, but with the helmets. And same goes for weapons. Now this is where the clever part comes in. Well, not really clever, but whatever, I'm stupid. Okay, would you like to buy something else? And you have to type in Y, which is basically yes, or no, which is no. See continue purchasing. If continue purchasing is equal to N, so basically that means if they wish to stop purchasing, if they wish to check out, then they just receive their purchase list, and you don't really need to ask them if they want a purchase list or not. Just give them the purchase list like you would in a real store, or they give you the check. They give you the bill. All right, so. And here, basically, just using the range-based for loop, it just executes the player inventory. And the inventory already contains all of the items the player has bought. And now quit is equal to true, and when quit is equal to true, the loop is broken, and yeah. And also, something quite curious, you might be wondering, what the hell is break? Well, break is a very, very useful keyword, because what it does, basically, it automatically breaks out of the loop. So it just breaks out of the loop. That's it. It stops the loop. And the reason we need this is because if the user is asked for if they want to buy body armor, helmets, or weapons, and they type in something random, there ain't a loop there to kind of prevent this from happening. So what it means basically is, if we, for example, when we have to choose the body armor, helmets, or weapons category, if the user types in 4 or something like that, there ain't a loop to kind of allow the user to choose again if they mistakenly put like a 4 in there, if they mistakenly typed in a 4 or a Q or whatever. So it terminates the program. Okay, guys, so you probably didn't understand any of that, but in reality, it's very simple. I'm gonna put this in the description box in the video, so you can kind of look at it yourself. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hey guys, and just a quick update. I forgot that there was a bug actually in this app that I forgot to mention, and that is you can buy all of the items, and that basically means that even if you have negative amounts of points, you can still buy things, and that's obviously not very realistic. So I'm not gonna fix it completely, like, because it will take a while and it's nighttime already, and I just realized it. But a quick way to fix it is basically, well, it's not quick, that's why I'm not doing it, but if player money is more than or equal to whatever amount the item costs, then player money is then you subtract 50 from the player money, and that basically ensures that the player has enough money. And then you can also put else. You can put else. You don't have enough money, or something along the lines of that. And that's basically it. Okay guys, thank you. Bye.